Hey everybody, this is Stormland. Thanks for joining me on another one of Chris's freaky deaky beer reviews. It's 12:45 in the afternoon. It's after 12. It's okay. They decided to do a funky beer pairing again. Yesterday I did a beer review with some poached eggs, and the beer tasted so good with poached eggs that I'm going to do it again. For those who are wondering what I have on here, because it might overpower my beer, I got very little cayenne pepper, very little salt, and lots of paprika. Smoked paprika. Now, today I'm going to be enjoying something that I haven't seen in the stores ever. Now, some people might not have noticed this on the shelves because it's very similar to its normal label. All we have is a brown tint in difference here. We got the Weizenbock in the Weihenstephaner. It is they call it their Vitus. It's a strong alcohol. It's 7.7% ABV. It's 500 milliliters per bottle. It's really cool. We got this little we got this person here. It looks like some religious person, and they're holding on to chicken on a book with some wheat next to them. Now on the back here it says contains wheat and refundable by blah 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 blah. So we got a good brew here, and thank you Weihenstephaner for giving me a new cap, because that will go into my collection. I'm going to be drinking it out of this incredibly appropriate Hefeweizen glass that was provided by Erdinger and their Weissbrau. Since I'm saying Weiss and Weiss and Weiss and Scheisen, I just thought I'd let you all know, just to be clear, when something says Weissbrau, that usually means wheat beer. If something says Hefeweizen beer, that usually means wheat beer. Now, when you read Weiss, okay, it's not actually supposed to be spelled or pronounced Weiss. It's supposed to be spelled Weiss. So this is a Weizenbock. Now, this is the first Weizenbock I've ever had, and what that says to me is that this is a dark Hefeweizen beer, so it's a dark wheat beer. So this is going to be really interesting to me, as I'm going to be drinking a dark wheat beer for the first time in my life. I'm going to be pairing it with some poached eggs, mofos. All right, here goes. Nice pop. I would have poured it the way that you're supposed to pour a wheat beer, but this glass isn't big enough for that. Looks very much like a Hefeweizen beer. Doesn't look as dark as I expected it to be. The slow pour, baby, the slow pour. Now, there's some things about Hefeweizen beers that a lot of people don't know about. When you get to the bottom, which is around here, okay, maybe even a little bit lower, you're supposed to stir it around. And the whole point of stirring it around is you're supposed to mix up all that sediment at the bottom of the glass. And by stirring it around evenly, you pour it into the top, and you will actually notice a difference in the beer. You'll notice a cloud, very cloudy. I hate to put this into comparison, but it almost looks like sperm floating through the beer. That is the flavor. So please don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just trying to pass on the friendly message. I can't. There's too much head in this beer, so I can't really pour it into the top now. So I'm just gonna kind of try to drink it the way that it is, and I'll actually tell you if I notice a big difference in the flavor. Okay. Smells very wheaty. Smells very sweet, just like most Hefeweizen beers do. We have a 3-finger honking head here, and you saw exactly how properly I poured this beer. We got a total white head, nothing but small bubbles and maybe big bubbles on the sides that you can see over here. Very cloudy, non-filtered, very translucent. You can't really see through it at all. good. Now for the next step. Spin it around. Another thing that's good to do is to do this. Really helps out. Stir it around a little bit more. And here goes. See if we can notice a difference here. Well, I'm not noticing any sploogey presence, so there goes that wonderful factoid that I had there. I don't know, since I poured that though, the top definitely looks like it's darker, and it's not just because of the head. There could be a lot of sediment at the top there. Now, if this is the kind of sediment that likes to float around at the top, you got to realize that when sediment's at the bottom of the glass, it's because it kind of just slowly falls and gets stuck there. But when it's at the top of a lot of carbonation, you know, obviously there's a lot of carbonation pushing the beer up throughout. Now that the beer's been open, it could just be up here. So there could be a difference in flavor here already. I'll let you know. Just to let you know, before I poured that, if you took the bock right out of this Hefeweizen beer, I tell you that it tastes just like a regular wheat beer. Oh wow, there's definitely a lot more flavor at the top there. Even picking up on a little bit more of a barley taste, and you're also picking up on a little bit more of a fermented taste. So you know what? If people don't like the taste of barley and people don't like the taste of a fermented beer, if I were you, I would just pour it down to that last little bit of the bottle there, and then just leave it there. If you want maximum flavor and potential, pour it the way that I just advised. Now, another really interesting way to pour a Hefeweizen beer without having to stir it up at the end and do all this wacky stuff is if you take a bottle, okay, I'm just going to empty this out a little bit more. If you take a bottle, take the glass, okay, put the glass completely upside down and put the bottle in the glass and then turn it around, what you'd be doing here is you'd be slowly releasing the flow of beer, and if you go too fast, you screw yourself. If you go too slow, you screw yourself. So you got to literally just pour it up at a medium pace, and then all of the beer will mix itself. Because when you pour the beer through the stout like this, it creates almost like a whirlpool effect. So that is how a Hefeweizen beer is supposed to be poured. If you just go on the YouTube that you're already on after my video, and you look for how to pour a wheat beer. You can type wheat beer without having to worry about the Hef and the Weizen and all that stuff. Type how to pour a wheat beer, and you'll find a whole bunch of different videos about people pouring their beer the same way. I only couldn't do it because of the shape of this glass. It has failed me in the past with that experiment. It's got to be a nice pint glass, and it's got to be a glass that's big enough in this circumstance to fit an entire 500 milliliter bottle. Yeah, so this is really good. I also forgot to mention that when I stirred the sediment around and I poured it into the top, what it tasted like before, mixed with what it's tasted like now. Now you definitely pick up on a more boozier, alcoholic presence in your brew here. But beforehand, all I was tasting was your standard wheat beer. So I'm just gonna have a little bit of my poached eggs here. Watch how good I made them. Oh yeah, that's the way that they're supposed to be made. Runny as hell. R-A-H. Alright. So now that I got egg texture and mixed combination of these flavors in my mouth, I'm going to try another taste of this beer. Last time I did this, the texture of the yolk in my mouth mixed with all these other tangy flavors made the last beer I had taste actually a little bit better. Wow. Wow. That is a giant difference. Excuse me, people. One thing that I noticed right away was that I got spiked in the face with alcohol in comparison. I don't know, maybe the yolk in the mouth and drinking a beer brings out the alcoholic flavors. It's the best that I can put it so far. It's definitely a great Hefeweizen beer. I wish I got the price. It's probably out there around $3.15 or something like that. It's probably not expensive. Wow, excuse me. I am very... You got to understand that Hefeweizen beers are incredibly carbonated. They're almost as carbonated as fermented beers. So that it's very easy to make somebody burp with this type of beer. Yep, you know what? Back to a regular taste now. So if you want to get a magnified alcoholic boozy taste with your beer, have some eggs, take a sip. Have some eggs, take a sip. For all those who are wondering why the hell I got eggs mixed with beer out there, I don't know. It was weird the first time. It's weird now, but no one else is doing it. All right, so there you have it, people. For Hefeweizen beer, I'm going to rate this out of 10 now. It was a little bit disappointing to not have a little bit more of a darkish beer effect with this Hefeweizen beer, which is what I thought was going to come out of it because of the Bock. If everybody's wondering why I think that way and I'm incorrect about the Bock, please enlighten me. Enlighten me, because I could just be mixing it with the Dunkel and the Dunkel Bock and all that stuff. So that's it, people. I'm gonna give it a. I'm definitely gonna give it an 8 out of 10 for a, you know, a Hefeweizen beer. It was really good. It wasn't too boozy. Wasn't too thick. It wasn't too sweet. Perfectly well-rounded, well-balanced brew. And I highly recommend it to all the Hefeweizen fans out there. And if you don't know who you are, you like Hoegaarden, you like Paulaner, there's a reality check for you. All right, people, don't drink and drive, but drink responsibly. Peace.